Going on, family and friends? New day, new beginnings. Before we get started, hit that like and share button. I'm a little tired now, man. I was at the gym for like 2 hours working out. Try to get my Sunday workout on during the week also. What I wanted to briefly discuss is, you know, is establishing a foundation. And what do I mean by establishing a foundation? I think I could speak on it because I think I wanted to establish a foundation when I was younger, and even now too. I made some missteps along the way, and I sometimes fess up to that, and what I mean by establish a foundation, sometimes when I sit down, I realize, when white people always say, hey man, I want to have everything situated first before I have kids, and I understand that. Because when I was young, I didn't really understand it or comprehend it. But as I get older, I see the reason why they think that way. Because they want things there for their kids already. They want that foundation. They want that, they want that house being built brick by brick. You understand? They want the foundation to be laid. I think sometimes we look at things differently because that's how we was brought up. And I always say this too, and I'm not talking down or to my own horn, but I think there's a lot of things that we were taught that was totally wrong. Matter of fact, not totally wrong, was wrong. To the way we raise our kids, to the way we have relationships with our family. There's a lot of things that we were taught, and I think sometimes us being taught that, it kind of throw a monkey wrench in how we develop ourselves moving forward. Some of us catch the development stage early, then a lot of us still don't get it. And by us not getting something, I think we do a disservice to ourselves first and those around us, especially if a lot of us have kids. So what I mean by disservice is that we don't put things in place for them. They don't see things the way, kids their age see things, And I think sometimes we, as parents, as individuals, some of us see it and then some of us don't. And the ones who see it, they look to change it. They look to change it going forward. They still may make their little small mishaps, but they look to change it moving forward. A lot of us that don't see it, I think we see it, they just don't give a shit. To be honest with you, I think they just don't give a shit. As sometimes when you have friends who have kids or family members who have kids, and you see the difference in your kids based on their kids, you all see that difference. And I know it too. Y'all see that difference in how kids act a certain way, behavioral patterns, thinking patterns, the things they do. You understand? And you notice that family or friends, you notice their mindset also as grown adults, and the kids had the same mindset. Is because not all the time, but sometimes I think parents don't speak to their kids about their misfortunes, the mistakes they made. Sometimes we try to shield our kids from a lot of the faults we had, the faults we grew up with. But I think sometimes you gotta be more open with your kids and telling them the things you've been through. Because I think the more we tell our kids the things we've been through, it's up to them to comprehend that and run with that. If they don't run with it, we leave it at that. But I think honesty, not lies, honesty. And the reason why I say that, I was reading an article about a young lady, who family is just a family full of sexual abuse and everything. And she was wondering why her mother moved away from the family, so forth. Eventually, the mother told her the reason why. Because the men in the family used to molest the little girls and the women. There's a whole bunch of sick shit that used to go on. And that's the reason why the mother moved away with the daughter and her husband, And these are things you gotta tell, because a lot of things a lot of things we know is in the blood, iniquity. You know, a lot of y'all gotta look at that term iniquity. It's things that's rooted in your flesh, is rooted in your bloodstream, and a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people ask themselves why I'm doing these things. You know, why I'm doing this, why I can't save, why I'm not happy. But when you look down the family tree and you start, you know, doing research, asking people, this is where it is. I know families who just drug dealers. Not no more, but when I was younger, drug dealers. Or was incarcerated. And you're like, what the fuck is this? But then when you start realizing, like, damn, your great grandfather was this, your aunt was this. It's a whole bunch of shit. Your pops is this, your mom's is this. You know what I'm saying? And these are the things that, you know, that if a foundation is not established, you can establish a foundation anytime. When you just cut off the bullshit and say, I'm done with this shit, I don't want to be bothered with it no more. That's it. You know, you have family members who ain't shit, you got to know how to cut them off. You got friends who ain't shit, you got to know how to cut them off. It may hurt you, you understand? But I think that a foundation needs to be set. You know, the one thing, I'm reading a book right now, The Jewish Phenomenon, right? And when you read this book, it's to a T how they built their whole environment. It's crazy how they built everything that they have. Look, we could say anything we want to say about Jews. It is what it is. I have no issues with them because the ones I met, they cool with me. You know what I'm saying? I speak to them. I get good tips on them. I'm not coming in there aggressive. You know what I'm saying? I just want to learn. That's from anybody. Asian, black, white. I like to learn. If it's a negative, I learn more from a lot of negative people than I did from positive people. Because the negative people won't be honest with you. I'm gonna rob this spot. All right, then just don't be there. Cool, I got you. Yeah, you negative, but you being honest. You know what I'm saying? Just like they got the prostitutes out there, they keeping it real. It is what it is. I'd rather someone honest with their honesty than someone, you know what I'm saying, that's fugazi. That's not being honest. So, you know, but this book, right, down to the T, how they built and established a culture, established a foundation, you know, how they put emphasis on education, put emphasis on being entrepreneurs, you know, and I think that's where we go wrong. You know what I'm saying? They're not sending their kids to school just for show. They sending their kids to school to be somebody, to be the boss. You know what I'm saying? All these businesses they have, when they send their kids to school, they coming out, they looking to get a business. They're not looking to work. You see, and that's what I mean establishing a foundation. We have it wrong. We send our kids to school and we think it's a joke. Or, you know, send the kids to school for this. All right, what you sending them to school for? Useless majors. You're not sending them to school for anything of substance. Anything that is sustainable, that could help them prolong their lives, help them prolong their careers. We don't do that. We, as parents, we supposed to be involved in our kids' lives. And the one thing I always say, people that look at this might say, is that we put our kids in programs that have no meaning. You know, I remember when my daughter was young, you know, her mother wanted to put her in dance. I used to just fight back on that, even in junior high step. I was like, this is all bullshit, I used to say. This is all bullshit. This is not doing anything for her. You understand what I'm saying? I'd rather her go on karate, learn how to whip somebody's ass. You understand? Let's put her in a math program. You know, let her mind start expanding. Same thing, you know, my son is 8. I'm gonna put him in, and the other one's 4. You know, I'm gonna make sure to put them in something that expands their mind. You know, and I always used to say, you know, you gotta put your kids in things that have meaning. Don't put your kids in nothing that has no meaning. Dance has no meaning. And all your young ladies, young men, if you want that took up dance, I'm not shitting on y'all, but I'm just saying that to me, dance is just is useless. It's useless. I'm not into all that shit. You know, I'd rather know self-defense, whip ass, and this. You know, so you know, but it goes back to reading that book. It goes back to what the subject of the video is establishing a foundation. Once you establish foundation, you have morals, you have ethics that you live by. You know, as a family, as an individual, and that's what you gotta preach to your kids. So your kids will have that in their head. You know, your kids' friends come around, preach that to them too. You know, because it's all about teaching. A lot of kids don't have no teaching because a lot of the parents are fugazi. A lot of the parents don't really know a lot. You know, not shitting on parents, but y'all don't really know a lot. Y'all lead your kids down the wrong road. You know, like I always say, the first thing parents should be teaching their kids is about racism. That's one. You know, business. you itch these things in their head so they know that, hey, you can't fool me. Because when you know you can't fool a child is already 10 steps ahead. Okay? These are things that we got to breed in our kids and have them, have them be on alert when it comes to anything. But family, I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. Like I said, new day, new beginnings. One.